Today, an important experiment is taking place, outside the usual confines of the lab. It involves a large high-altitude meteorological drone, and it's gearing up for a unique mission. As the drone ascends to an altitude of 3,500 meters, the onboard weather radar and photoelectric sensors allow meteorologists to capture real-time images of the ocean before the storm. Typhoon Nanka is anticipated to hit Zhonghai of Hainan Province in 2020.
了解到这次的台风浪卡呢，预计将会成为今年登陆海南的首个台风，其带来的累计的雨量会比较大，还将会给海南、广西、广东等地带来影响。
Typhoons are extremely powerful storms that form when hot air masses rise from tropical seas. They typically have a diameter of several hundred kilometers, with maximum wind speeds exceeding 100 meters per second. While the drone is utilized for high-altitude detection capabilities, meteorologists will gather low-altitude data using large balloons equipped with sensors. The valuable data collected before the storm will assist in future typhoon forecasts and predictions. This fierce storm will continue northward, bringing continuous rainfall to China's coastal regions. It has long been known that the ocean holds just as many mysteries as it does miracles. And though it may be a source of dread at its worst, there is no doubt its unparalleled beauty has inspired some of humanity's greatest achievements. This is Jiaolong, China's independently developed deep-sea submersible, which at one point set the world record for the deepest dive among operational submersibles. Today, it's carrying two scientists into the deep, dark sea. Despite being 4,500 meters below the surface, the seabed is anything but lifeless. At 400 degrees Celsius, water spews from vents in the Earth's crust, carrying abundant metal sulfides that give rise to towering columns of smoke that can reach as high as 10 meters. Using a robotic arm attached to the submersible, the scientists begin collecting biological samples from the areas around these so-called black smokers. These swarms of blind shrimp number as many as 2,000 per square meter. Also, what can be found here are ancient bacteria known as thermophiles. Scientists speculate that they may be one of the earliest life forms to appear on Earth. The ocean, the earliest cradle of life, was formed approximately 3.8 billion years ago.
地球形成的时候，曾经表面上都是岩浆，然后呢慢慢冷却，冷却之后呢，原来里面很多氢的元素就待不住了，就放出来了，然后跑到外头来，所以那时候地球上的大气圈呢很浓密，有点像现在的金星上那样，里面很浓的大气，里面有很多水的分子，后来呢再冷下去。 分子做气待不住，它就降下来了，然后呢，降到地面上变成海洋啊。
After millions of years of rainfall, 150 million megatons of water covered Earth's surface. Acidic seawater met alkaline hydrothermal vents, producing energy that accelerated the formation of complex molecules. Around 2 billion years ago, single-celled organisms that evolved from ancient bacteria began to appear deep in the ocean's depths. After a long period of evolution, they eventually gave rise to the diverse life forms that exist on Earth today. The oceans cover approximately 70% of the Earth's surface. Just like the vast lands that have nurtured agricultural civilizations, the ocean has also shaped the lives of China's coastal residents. Tanmen, a small coastal town in southeastern China, serves as one of the nearest ports to the Nansha Islands. The South China Sea boasts numerous islands and reefs, as well as clear seawater, offering abundant resources for local fishermen.
这种沙吗？都是我爷爷那代是开始，我们小时候都是拿这个去擦鱼。是我看到一个大石斑，5、60件。
The older generations of Tanmen residents developed a unique fishing method that allowed them to capture the valuable sea creatures hiding in coral reefs.
这边的捕鱼方法90%都是潜水，杀鱼嘛。那时候也没什么工具嘛，都是用鱼沙才能做得到，才能捞到海参啊，那么深。
Most fishermen here have been honing their spearfishing skills since childhood and can dive up to 30 meters without the need for oxygen tanks.
我们都是自由潜，自由潜的话，一般都是正常的话可以憋1分多钟吧，1分钟以上。刚开始的时候也是能下个几米吧，慢慢的就能下到10米、20米嘛。出海的人都有那种很勇敢的，很冒险的，包括潜水都叫风险很大的。
In these murky depths, a successful catch requires a keen eye, patience, and cat-like reflexes. To minimize the effects of water pressure on their bodies, divers must be careful how long they stay underwater, as well as how quickly they return to the surface. Just like farming and herding, fishing is a survival skill that takes years, sometimes lifetimes, to perfect. In fact, 5,000 years ago, coastal Chinese had already mastered it. These 5,000-year-old relics are proof that ancient coastal residents in southeast China were already adept fishermen. Like this single-edged stone tool used for shipbuilding, or these curved fish hooks made of animal bones, and this earth-colored pottery jar used for cooking seafood soup. Archaeologists discovered a significant number of shell fragments alongside them, indicating they were once part of the local diet.
对于先民来说，他们要打开那些贝类是比较困难的。最好的方法现在是用开水将它们煮开，但是怎么样可以将开水弄出来呢？他们最伟大的一个发现，他们是可以利用陶罐来进行那些煮开水、打开海鲜的工作，证明他们的文明程度也是很高。
根据我们那个大帽山贝丘遗址的发现，当时原住民主要是以靠海讨生活为主，也当时也还没有发现到有种那个水稻的这个考古也还是没有发现这些东西，所以说他们就是靠海吃海，就是还利用潮汐间去捕捞。
At that time, these coastal people would have no way of knowing that China has the largest combined area of continental shelves in the world. The continental shelf is the relatively flat part of the continent that is submerged in the shallow sea. It is here, where there is ample heat, light and organic matter, that most aquatic organisms flourish. The vast continental shelf also benefits from an abundance of nutrients that have been deposited by multiple rivers, making China's coastal areas an ideal habitat for sea life.
海洋里面的生物什么地方鱼常多呢？说到底，鱼要吃东西啊，那么你必须有很多营养物质。中国海边呢，主要是靠这个，因为你像长江口啊、钱塘江那里那个，或者是珠江外面啊什么的，河流的里面带来了大量陆地的。 物质呢引起了很多小生物，然后呢鱼就吃它们。
中国人早期就很早就利用海洋的资源，特别是鱼类资源和食盐的资源。但是这个没有完全满足综合的生活的需求。在先秦的时候，沿海地区的这些食盐资源和鱼类资源就传到了内地。在中国古代人的眼中呢，海上的是一个充满宝藏的地方。
Nature has endowed China with a vast and varied abundance of resources. For those that live near water sources, fishing has long been the preferred way of life, especially when compared to the back-breaking labor required of farming. September marks the busiest season for coastal fishermen. At noon, over 2,000 fishing boats set sail at full throttle into the East China Sea. Shipu Fishing Port, situated along the southern coast, is a renowned sheltered harbour and one of China's 4 major fishing ports. After a 4.5-month fishing ban period, local fishermen eagerly embrace the start of the fishing season. Feng Shudong is a seasoned fisherman with 3 decades of experience. The start of the fishing season coincides with the passing of a typhoon, and he's planning on taking advantage of the windy weather. This is the peak season for hairtail fish in the East China Sea. The hairtail fish that live in the Yellow Sea and the mouth of the Yangtze River migrate along the coast of Zhejiang province from north to south to overwinter. Many fish species appear in specific areas at fixed times during the year. While the movement of seawater might appear random, it actually flows regularly from one area to another under the power of wind and the Coriolis force. This is known as the ocean current. In the East China Sea, the distribution and appearance of certain fish species are greatly influenced by a current called kuroshio. Much like a high-speed railway, it carries numerous species of migratory fish, while nutrient-rich deep-sea water surges upward, providing them with sufficient food and nourishment.
中国的科学家在东海和南海都做了很多的连续的观测，就发现啊，这黑潮的每年的强弱跟流量的强弱啊，对这个东海和南海的生态系统有非常大的调制作用。它一直到水下400米的地方都是保持这样的均匀的流速的。它上层流把底层的营养物质带来了，你上层流强，我觉得大鱼就大鱼吃小鱼，小鱼吃虾米嘛，那就大鱼就多。
Feng Shudong has been fishing since he was a teenager, when he would tag along with his father on his boat. Although he has never studied ocean currents, when it comes to the types of fish that frequent these waters, he's an expert. Thanks to the strong winds, Feng Shudong and his crew were able to catch 4,000 kilograms of hairtail fish in a single day. In a few days' time, the crew will return with a full boat. At this point, the fishing boat has already sailed almost 2 kilometers away from the port. For him and the crew, getting home safely won't be a problem, as the boat is equipped with GPS. But how did fishermen do it in the past? Now 87 and retired, Su Chengfeng's renown as a captain is legendary. This handwritten booklet contains generations of accounts, navigation routes, and other nautical data that has served local fishermen well over the years. In a time without GPS, this guidebook was a captain's best friend. The guidebook is a town treasure, passed down in the form of handwritten copies. In 1982, Su Chengfen diligently hand-copied his grandfather's work and has kept it until this day. Compiled by fishermen of the South China Sea, the book contains just about everything a captain would need to safely navigate the open sea. Before the advent of modern navigation equipment, the booklet served as a compass, map, nautical encyclopedia, and a trusty first mate.
从一个海岛去到另外一个海岛，他会先说它的方位是怎么样。那个方位就是我们用我们中国的罗岗的那些方位来形容的，所以大概就分成24个针的位置。也可以说明距离他们就用更这个单位来形容。一个更就是60华里，60华里就是20多公里。然后就一个地方去到另外一个地方，它有多少更去到多少更，大概可以看到什么的景观大概这些都是在这个更路簿里面描述下来的。
And so, fishermen ventured into the deep blue sea, braving wind and wave while relying solely on the wisdom of their ancestors. But these intrepid sailors have even greater aspirations, driven by their own thirst for exploration, the thrill of adventure, and what dreams might be found just beyond the horizon. With its strong winds and high waves, Haikou is an ideal spot for kiteboarding. Today, members of China's national kiteboarding team are training for an upcoming competition. Kiteboarding is one of the world's most popular extreme sports. Riding a surfboard and harnessing the wind with large parachutes that act like kites, these adrenaline junkies can perform a wide range of dangerous maneuvers.
您的速度、您的方向，完全是由您自己掌控的。也就是在海里面，你可以想去任何地方，就自己一个人，也不需要借助其他人，不需要借助动力，不需要借助机械动力，您可以想去任何地方。所以这种感觉就是无与伦比的。
受东北季风的影响，当气流进了海峡以后，它有一个加速，有个挤压的作用，然后气流会加速。所以在海口这个地方，它会有一个持续的一个季风，大概从9月开始，然后到来年的2月。
Lin Wenliang is one of China's first kiteboarders.
如果那个标不行的话，你就不用绕标，你就大概按自己的那个角度。
These professional kiteboarders must master advanced surfing techniques, while understanding the intricate relationship between seasonal weather and winds. This knowledge and experience become especially important during the monsoon months, when winds can be particularly unpredictable.
"季风是一定是存在在海陆交界处的。夏天的时候，太阳直射在这个热带地区，那么地球的陆地上的升温它升得快，那么热的陆地上呢，它的气压就低，这个海洋上的气压就高，就会形成了一个非常清楚从海洋吹向陆地的季风。冬天呢，海里边降温降得慢嘛，所以呢，它相对于陆地来讲，海上的温度就高一点。 变成了海上低气压，陆地上是高气压。那这时候呢，就陆地上吹向海上的一个风，冬季风和夏季风正好风向相反。
Since monsoons are predictable, they were actually beneficial to ancient maritime navigation. Chinese traders utilized the northeast monsoon for winter overseas trade and followed the southwest monsoon back home in summer, shuttling between the vast seas of the Chinese southeast coast, India, the Southeast Asian islands, and the Arabian Peninsula.
从中国，如果我们要走到阿拉伯跟非洲那些远方，我们不能靠自己用桨、用体力来到那么远，去到那么远的地方，我们必须依靠这个风力。在现代没有这个蒸汽引擎之前，我们只有这个方法可以走到远方。
所谓贸易风就做的这个船舶买卖，他知道季风呢是冬季夏季会反过来，所以知道我什么时候往哪里去，靠帆船，所以到后来才有轮船。
With the aid of monsoons, ancient Chinese mariners were no longer left to drift aimlessly with the currents. However, building a ship that could withstand the wind and water for several month-long voyages was a significant challenge. Arjiago town in Panjin is situated on the coast of the Bohai Sea. In July, during the fishing moratorium, local fishermen take advantage of the downtime to repair their boats. Jiang Xinghua, the owner of a local wooden shipyard, is the sole craftsman in Panjin and is familiar with every aspect of traditional shipbuilding.
好，这个开始烤是吧？这里边这不还出水呢吗？还有区域呢，还。刚才烤一下子，它也没烤出来。7月份、8月10几号以前，一定要把它的这个防护做好了。就这个季节啊，就是海须生长的季节、繁殖的季节，跟这个鱼虾的繁殖季节是一样的。这里边应该就是籽了，它这个繁殖要甩籽卵，它这个卵啊很小，像针尖那么大，它就能钉到船上。 倒的就都像马蜂窝一样，把这个船板倒的就没有劲了。
To combat the major threat shipworms pose to wooden ships, Jiang Xinghua has developed his own unique methods. First, he soaks hemp fiber in tung oil. Then he hammers it into the wooden deep crevices with a chisel, layer by layer. Last, he applies some putty to smooth over the cracks.
就这么一点，就很结实，很结实。它有灰有油，给它保护住，这麻丝的力量就能显示出来了。
After he ensures that every crack in the hull is sealed tightly, he turns his attention to the ship's cabins.
这个水密隔断板，它还得加了2个梁，这非常结实的，这就。这2个都是水密隔断板，而且这一个舱是一个整个船里边最大的一个舱。
The watertight bulkhead design is crucial for the ship's ability to withstand storms. However, this wasn't one of his own inventions. In the central hall of the China Maritime Museum in Shanghai, a massive ancient Chinese ship is on display. It was reconstructed to match the standard ship model used by Zhonghe, who sailed the Western Oceans during the Ming Dynasty. According to historical records, during the Song and Yuan dynasties, thousands of Chinese sailing ships engaged in both domestic and international trade annually.
我们现在能看到的就是这个船舱里面水密隔舱的模型。我们可以看一下，像这一块一块的就是隔舱板，通过隔舱板将这个船舱分隔成一个一个的水密隔舱。隔舱板的存在，增强了船舶这个纵向的张力，使得我们的船舱更加的坚固。
The design, which separates the cabin into unconnected sections, is known as a watertight compartment. Even if the cabin takes damage at sea, the crew only need to repair and seal the leaking section of the hull. This enables the voyage to continue and significantly enhances navigation safety.
远洋航海有3个条件：第一个，你能造出这个航海的船；第二个，你得有动力，就是季候风的掌控；第三，你的导航技术，就是观天线好、指南针也好，这个条件在唐宋时期其实都具备了。
Thanks to the superior performance of Chinese ships, during the Sung and Yuan dynasties, almost all large merchant vessels in the East China Sea, South China Sea, and Indian Ocean were from China. These nautical achievements made China a force to be reckoned with. The Yushan archipelago is located southeast of Shepu Port, Xiangshan County, approximately 48 kilometers offshore. It was a vital passage for maritime trade in ancient China. While the treacherous reefs in this area led to the demise of many ancient cargo ships, they inadvertently bequeathed valuable legacies to future generations.
作为调查呢，是以北屿山岛为中心的一个矩形区域，涉及24个平方公里的海域。我们通常会使用声呐、地球物理探测的一些手段，来对这个海床还有地球物理的一些情况，来采集一些数据。通过处理这些数据呢，我们来推断可能存在水下文化遗传的区域，以此为一个线索，去让这个水下考古队员呢具体去探摸，来对这些线索进行一个定性。
我们现在这一遗点的高度都很矮，它的水深又比较浅，大家尽量在驼点附近2到3米的这个探查。
These are modern-day treasure hunters. After several consecutive dives, they finally make a discovery.
...14米到15米的那个位置的时候，就发现了一个青花瓷片。发现那个水下的那个比较硬，没扎动，里面的那个贝壳什么的比较多。所以后来我们出水之后，就通报给那个领队嘛。
After the relics are retrieved from the sea floor, a team of experts attempt to determine their approximate age. Underwater archaeological activities like this are conducted every few years, especially in key maritime areas such as the Yushan archipelago in southeast China. Due to the sheer amount of salvage that has been recovered, it is clear these sea lanes were used by ancient merchant ships. This is what we now recognize as the maritime Silk Road.
我们首先认为海上丝绸之路它是一条贸易之路，因为东西方的这个 物产不同，因而他们有这种互通有无的需要。当然，这个交流的过程呢，它是一个多变的、复杂的过程。例如，我们将中国的货物丝绸、茶叶、瓷器等等运到东南亚，那阿拉伯商人他把他们当地的货物，像金银器啊，他们的香料啊等等，也运到东南亚，然后我们在这里进行一个中转的贸易。
After the Song dynasty, this maritime Silk Road, which passed through more than 100 countries and regions, ultimately replaced the once flourishing Oasis Silk Road, becoming the main channel of communication between China and the outside world. For thousands of years, the maritime Silk Road has served as a lifeline for fishermen, a major trade route for cross-sea commerce, and an international stage for exchanges between envoys of various countries. Ultimately, all have helped shape the course of China's development.
今天海洋对于现代国家来说当然非常之重要，它当然是由海洋把所有这些地方连在一块儿之后，再形成世界市场。它使得各大文明区以更低的成本，彼此之间以更高的密度、更大的规模互动了起来。而这个更高密度、更大规模，世界市场使得所有国家它的经济活动都被联系在了一起。我们今天所知道的最重要的贸易过程都是通过海洋完成的。
由于地理条件特殊，中国历来是远离其他文明的，而且呢，其他文明也没有办法通过强制的手段进入中国。但是海上近代的交通路线打通，这个障碍被彻底破除了。从明朝中期开始，西方的宗教、价值观念、科学技术、文化艺术，这些都是通过海上向中国传播。
In coastal areas, these maritime conduits allowed the exchange between Eastern and Western civilizations to thrive. Unfortunately, during the Ming and Qing dynasties, the Chinese rulers preferred to enact policies of isolationism, which led to the closure of many crucial seaports. It was not until the 20th century that modern China reopened its doors to sea trade, ushering in a new era. In Shanghai, Yangshan Deepwater Port, the world's largest container cargo ship is docking. Within 24 hours, nearly 3,000 containers must be unloaded and stored. Zhang Yan, a crane operator at the port, ensures the containers from the cargo ship are placed securely on the transport vehicles. Hovering 50 meters above ground from his cabin in the sky, he skillfully lowers the locks on the crane's lifting equipment into 4 6-centimeter holes on the containers. It's a task that requires immense concentration and precision. Zhang Yan can load and unload 196 containers in just 1 hour. Every day, over 50,000 containers are loaded and unloaded by hundreds of crane operators working simultaneously.
我们上海港应该是从10年开始，集装箱吞吐量从2010年开始跃居世界全球第一，然后从10年到去年19年，我们连续10年，保持了集装箱吞吐量世界第一大港这样一个位置。
Today, China has the world's largest container port, as well as one of the most extensive networks of maritime routes. When it comes to container throughput, China boasts 7 of the world's top 10 ports, ranking it first in the world. Through its sophisticated maritime trade network, China has once again become integrated with the global economy. Thanks to technology's latest advances, China's exploration of the ocean is able to go further than ever before. With boundless ambition, China has set sail for new horizons.
大约5分钟之后下线，下线之后正常掉头。好的，加油，收到，明白。
The East China Sea continental shelf is one of the world's richest regions in terms of oil and gas reserves. Under the guidance of 5 giant vessels, a massive offshore oil drilling platform is being towed to its target location. This 137-meter-tall drilling platform, independently developed by Chinese scientific researchers, is a gargantuan example of technology, innovation, and human engineering. Its total displacement is equivalent to that of a medium-sized aircraft carrier. This is a 3,000-meter-long subsea watertight pipe. Before extracting underwater oil and gas resources, researchers need to insert the pipe into rock layers in the seabed to create a completely sealed space. This will prevent the inflow of seawater into the drilling holes, which could potentially pose a serious safety hazard.
越迟越迟，准备下放。收到。
RV 中控，现在这个方向应该差不多了。
With the precise insertion of this oil and gas collection pipeline, an important procedure in deep-sea oil and gas extraction is completed. Once secured, explorers can safely extract oil from the seabed.
钻台，做好开行前准备工作。
钻台已做好开行准备。
确认流程无误后，准备环空加压开行。
现在知道世界海洋呢平均有3700米深，那么最深的就11000米啊。那么地球表面60%都是2000米的深海，所以在地球上比例是非常高的。人类呢克服了地心引力，到了太空去了；另外一方面也顶住了海水的压力，到了海底了。深海是地球科学的突破点，因为原来地球就是那个部分不了解。
在工业化以前，不是依靠海洋本身，海洋只是一个载体，主要是航运。 因为它需要向外开拓，所以到了今天，中国的海洋对中国的意义，第一是资源，因为我们现在知道海洋里面除了盐以外，有那么多东西，所以从这样的海洋对于我们来讲是非常重要的，啊，那么当然它是人类共同的资源，所以我们一直主张海上的大家共同发展，啊，建设海洋的利益共同体，共同利用、共同开发。
This ocean has always been deeply intertwined with human development. it has been the source of adventure, tradition, and our very own survival. From the earliest days of sea cultivation and the rise of the maritime Silk Road, to the gathering of deep-sea oil and gas resources, the ocean has nourished and safeguarded China's civilization for thousands of years. And if China's recent step forward in marine exploration are any indication, it will have just as great an impact on the future to come.